So this webinar is going to get recorded,
Yeah.
and then we will be uploading it either in YouTube, or you will get it as a a Google Drive.
So I think the webinar is supposed to be for like an hour. So I will give some introduction about mudras for like 20 minutes, and then Kadambari will also talk about more on mudras, and then the last 20 minutes will be question and answer sessions. So let's get started, and let me share my slides. Okay, are you able to see my slides?
Yes.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
try to come on video so that we can make it a little bit more interactive, and we just don't want you to just sit silently, so when we see face to face, we can connect more, and then we can take it from there. All right. So yeah, so just to introduce myself, I'm Viji. I'm a senior yoga teacher with Shivdarshan Yoga Vidyalaya, and I've been associated with Shivdarshan Yoga Vidyalaya since 2016. And Shivdarshan Yoga Vidyalaya is a unit of Bihar School of Yoga. Um, and I mean, it was started by like Swami Satyananda Saraswati, and currently being led by Swami Niranjanananda Saraswati. So let's get started about mudras. Okay, so what we are going to see today is introduction to mudras. Some of you may already be familiar with mudras, for some of you probably may not know much about mudras. So we'll go a little bit in detail about what really mudras mean to us. And then what is the root cause of disease and panchakoshas, because we humans exist on different levels, different layers to our dimension, not just this physical body. That is panchakoshas. We'll go a little bit about that. And panchabhutas, the five elements in the universe. And then we'll talk a little bit, if time permits, about blood. We'll teach like one mudra for blood pressure and diabetes. All right. So what are mudras? Mudras are sacred gestures, right? So that is the literal meaning. Mudras means gestures or attitudes. So, in a broader view, it can be defined as a yogic, psychic, emotional, devotional, aesthetic gestures or attitudes. What that means, I'm going to show one picture, and you tell me what it means. Where is the picture combined? Okay. Okay, it's in the other slide. I will just share the other slide. Okay. Or I'll just show some expressions and you tell me what that means to you. Okay. When I show some expressions, what it means to you. Okay. I'm not able to go back to the maximized window. 1 second. Sorry.
Go to your slide window and give a slideshow.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because
Okay. All right. So I think it's not in the combined video. All right. Just tell me, when if I sit like that, what does it mean? I want you all to be interactive and tell me, if I sit like that, what does it mean?
please unmute yourself and talk.
Oh, are they able to unmute Kadambari?
Yeah, they will be able.
Okay. Let's be interactive. We don't want it to be like,
Sad or thinking.
Yeah, okay. And if I keep my hands like this, and what does it mean?
Anger.
Angry.
Yeah. So, and if I'm like, what does it mean? Yeah. So these are all different gestures, right? So based on my gesture, you're able to tell me what is my inner experience. In the same way, mudras are nothing but, like they are gestures of your consciousness, what's happening in your inner world. Okay, so they are very simple. So how did we come to know about these mudras? Mudras were discovered by yogis and ancient rishis of India when they were in deep meditation. Okay, so when they were in deep meditation, their body assumes certain posture. Just like when you get angry, you are breathing faster, or when you are like, scared, how you curl your body, right? your body assumes, Kadamari, you don't have to share now. Yeah. So when you're like in fear, your body curls up, right? So your body automatically assumes some posture, some gesture. Same way, when yogis were in deep meditation, right? When they were connected with the universal mind, the cosmic prana, their body assumed certain postures, right? So the mudras can be not just with fingers, it can be with your entire body. Okay. And I think some of you might be familiar like with Shambhavi Mudra, which you do with your eyes. So mudras does not mean only like hand gestures. The whole body can be used. So what the yogis figured out was when they were in deep meditation, their body assumed a particular posture gesture and reverse engineering. If you keep your body in that particular gesture or posture, then you can alter your state of consciousness to that. Do you get that? See, when you're in a state of like meditation, deep meditation, you forget about all the problems. You are in a state of calm, peace, harmony, one with the nature, isn't it? So, but in order to get to that state, if you keep your body in a particular mudra, because each mudra, right, it corresponds to a particular state of the mind and consciousness. So, if you want to be in a particular state, if you want to develop a particular personality, you do the mudras for a fixed amount of time, then those qualities will develop in you. Your consciousness will shift to that state. So that is what they found out. I think a very common mudra that we all know is Chin Mudra, right? I think if you are familiar with yoga or if you have attended any meditation or breathwork classes, one common mudra they will ask us to do is the Chin Mudra, right? So this is gently joining the index finger with the thumb. And when you do that, what is happening is, so we all know, right? Like the fingers, we emit energy. Like in the extremities, like your feet, fingers, your head, lot of energy gets dissipated into the external world. But what we are doing in mudra is when I do this, I am creating a circuit. Whatever prana that will actually dissipate into the world, I am locking it, I am bringing it back, creating a circuit and bringing it back into myself. And then it gets redirected to your brain. And we all know that we don't use the brain has so much capacity. We only use very limited amount of that. There are so many centers in the brain that are very dormant, right? How to awaken them? So for that, we have to increase our energy level. And what we call this in yogic terms is prana. We all are very familiar with prana, right? When somebody dies, we say the prana has left the body. The prana is the subtle life force, right? Which we have, which is also in the cosmic. When you inhale, you not only inhale oxygen, we are also inhaling the prana. We are taking in the prana from the universe into ourselves. And lot of times why disease forms, why we get disease, it is because we have imbalance in the prana. And how do we get this imbalance? Can you name some of the common things? Why do we get disease?
Lifestyle. Imbalance proper
Lifestyle.
lifestyle.
Okay, very good.
Prana will get
What else?
blocked. Prana will get
Yeah,
blocked
Emotions,
in joints.
emotions, hormone.
emotions. Very good. Okay. Yeah. So, our day to day activities, not just the physical activities, how much you're exercising, what you're eating, and what you're thinking, all this will impact the prana. For example, you're having problem with love in relationship. What is going to happen? The prana in your chest region is going to get blocked and you will develop conditions of the heart region, like it could be a illness with the heart or your lungs or thymus gland. Do you understand? So in yoga we are nothing but, see, we all know that in like a medical term we have the nervous system, brain, heart, which pumps the blood and the blood goes to all parts of our body, right? Same way in yoga we have different channels which we call nadi. The nadi is the channel for the energy flow. Okay. So because of our lifestyle, the energy can get blocked, or it may become excessive or less. Okay. So to bring balance, we can do it through, there are many techniques, and one easy method is mudras. See, you can do like Sirasasana. Sirasasana is known as king of all asanas because it has so many benefits. But how many of us can really do Sirasasana? Right? Sirasasana directs all the blood flow to the brain, the prana to the brain. But we have Mahasiras Mudra, something similar, you know, to redirect the prana and energy to your brain. And nowadays, we all know, like most of us have sedentary lifestyle, and we don't want to really, like, do a lot of physical exercise, or we say that we don't have time. I don't have time. Where will I find time to do all this? Right? So, in the ancient days, mudras were taught only after you have mastered, through asanas, breath work, and all of that. But in today's time, we just want people to experience the benefits of yoga, of correct, like an easier way to balance your pranas. So that is why we started teaching, like, started offering mudras, because you can do this. See, mudras have to be done, like, in a calm place. You sit down and then, without any distraction, you'll get the 100% benefit. But this can be done when you're sitting in a meeting. When you're working, you have like meetings, you are on the Zoom call, you sit for 1 hour, and you can keep your hands, like, in prana mudra. Nobody's going to see. Your face is visible on the Zoom. You can do mudras with your hands. You may not get 100% benefit, but you'll get, like, 50 to 60%. We all watch TV, isn't it? Turn on the TV. I'm suggesting only for those people who will say that I don't have time, for, yoga or anything like that. Okay. So if you are able to dedicate the time, that is fine. You'll get the results much sooner. So when the pranas are flowing freely in our body, all the tissues, organs, they will get the energy that they need to thrive, to function properly. For example, Apana Mudra, right? Pancreas, diabetes is very, very, very common these days. High BP, anxiety, sleep issues, all these are common. But let's talk about diabetes. Diabetes means what? I just told you, when there is an imbalance in prana, it leads to disease. So when your pancreas is, the prana in your pancreas, right, is imbalanced, that leads to diabetes. This is according to the yogic philosophy. So how do we fix that? We have to do some mudras, because mudras channel the energy to a particular part of the organ. Okay. When you do apana mudra, all the organs in your, like, in your abdomen will get benefited. So, specific mudras for specific organs. For the heart, there is a specific mudra. For lungs, there is a specific mudra. For your thyroid, there is a specific mudra. What we are trying to do is, when we know that you have like a particular like disease, okay, this person is having imbalance of prana in a particular organ, particular region. So, how do we restore the prana balance in that particular region? So you can do it through asanas, breath work, mudras, but mudras is so much simpler. And some mudras also combine, like, breath work and physical postures as well. Okay, so this is the basic idea of, like, mudras and how it works on your body and on the spiritual level. So this is the physical benefit. Let's talk about wealth, right? Like finance, abundance. So everything is like controlled by our brain, isn't it? All the functions, whether, like, so if somebody wants to do business, right, there are certain part of their brain that needs to be activated. Or if you want to memorize some things, your hippocampus, right, like your memory center, all it needs to work properly. So there are mudras for particular part of the brain that is responsible for, like, a financial health, or like for memory, or for relationships, or limbic system, emotion. So we need to know how to handle that. So mudras will, like, channel the energy to particular area, not only in your body, also in your brain, so that you will have the knowledge on how to correct the problems and how to thrive. On the spiritual level, right, what happens? When I sit with Chin Mudra for a long time, I am actually like creating a circuit. Instead of energy going out of my body, I am creating a circuit between my brain and the fingers. So I'm creating like a loop. So after some time, what happens, right? So the prana keeps flowing in that loop. So it's getting charged. After it gets charged, that neuronal circuit, it gets silenced little bit. And what is the advantage of that? When these normal circuits, neuronal circuits are like silenced, the dormant area of the brain, they get activated. What is dormant? Because a lot of us, I don't know if you are like ever if you're familiar with psychotherapy, right? Said that Sigmund Freud, a lot of our behavior is driven by the unconscious mind. Unconscious and subconscious mind, you'd have heard about it. What we cannot deal with, we push it into the subconscious mind. For example, you had like some terrible traumatic incidents, terrible things happen to you, and if you keep remembering them, how can you function in day to day life? So, the nature of our mind is like to push it to the subconscious and the unconscious, so that, but they are actually influencing your behavior. When you go deep into meditation, and mudras are very very beneficial in meditation because they calm the mind, all these active noises, it calms down. Then you can access the subconscious and the subconscious mind and release your fears, whatever that you have suppressed, right? Anger, because unless you release them, they will be sitting, in the background and influencing you. Sometimes we don't know why we are scared. People have phobias, right? And they don't even know why. Some people are afraid of water. Why are they afraid of water? Because a lot of things have been repressed and suppressed into your subconscious and unconscious mind. And when you do mudras, all those will come to the surface and you'll be able to release them, give closure, which means you have more prana for the productive things in your life. Okay, so these are all the, like, so health benefits, like, for wealth and finance, studies, and then like spiritual benefits. So there are different mudras for different functions. And I think with this I will stop, and I will now ask Kadambari to continue with the mudra session.
Yes.
We'll hold the questions and answers for the end of the
For
session.
the rest of the session, yeah. So we saw many things today. Actually, Vijay has covered most of the part, which is good. So it's going to give me some, time to, like, time for you guys. Like, she almost covered. So why do we need to do mudra? So we already saw that there's a circuit that we create. See, our body is made up of, it's communicating all the time. It's moving all the time. Our body is made up of many neurons, neurological points. We are going to see in a normal, like when it comes to anatomical standpoint, when biologically what happens when you do mudra. Mudras are called as psychoneurological finger locks when you do it with your hands. So there are many kinds of mudra that you can do with your body, with your tongue, with your eyes, with your nostrils. So all these gestures that we do are nothing but you're neurologically doing a lock within your body, which diverts the energy within the body. That's what we were saying. So in a philosophical standpoint and a spiritual standpoint, we saw all these things so far. When it comes to biological, when it comes to anatomical standpoint, so what we do is, with just the fingertips, you can control the prana or the energy within your body to different direction. That's what we have been told, but that's what we have been seeing. So we have multiple neural plexuses within our body. So what are plexus is the neurons, what they do, the nerves just binds in and out. It'll just twine within your spinal column. So when you do certain gestures, especially when you do some locks with your fingers, take chin mudra, and then we'll do a practical session now. So what you're going to do is everyone come to chin mudra, do chin mudra, close your eyes, just inhale and exhale. Do 5 breaths. Close your eyes. Keep your focus on your breath. Keep your hands in Chin Mudra. Inhale and exhale. You're not going to do anything. Okay. Now, close all 3 fingers. This is Chinmaya Mudra. After 5 breaths, go to Chinmaya Mudra. Now, inhale and exhale for 5 breaths. Now, open your eyes. You guys are going to tell me what is the difference that you saw within your body when you did Chin Mudra and Chinmaya Mudra. So first you did Chin Mudra, right? You can do it one more time. Do Chin Mudra, see what happens. And breath, your awareness should be on your breath. Now one at a time, any one of you can unmute and talk. So what happened when you did Chin Mudra?
I feel light, ma'am. When I
Then
do this mudra, I feel heaviness in my head. I feel that.
you felt light when you did the Chin Mudra. Where
This,
was your breath, your body? Where was the action more when you did the
I
Mudra?
feel that Atma chakra focusing.
you are you are somewhere. I'm talking about the lower level, not higher spiritual level.
Chin Mudra, I feel like air is going out. Whereas
Ah,
Chinmaya Mudra, I feel like coming in. Pressure
okay.
building up inside.
What about others? Kanakarajan sir, you are unmuted. You can talk.
Oh, sorry. Not English.
See, when you do Chin Mudra, what happens is your abdominal breathing automatically activates. Do Chin Mudra and try one more time. You don't need to go spiritual level, your Agna Chakra, that's all too much. Okay, we are going to practice Chin Mudra and see where the energy is going by yourself. Okay, again do Chin Mudra, close your eyes and see where the breath is flowing. Just see the breath. Watch your breath. Nothing else. You're not going to think about anything else. Just your breath. Yes.
Ma'am, when you breathe in Chin Mudra, the air fill in the abdomen. When do
Yes.
Chinmaya Mudra, it fill the lungs.
Very good. That's what is the right answer. So now do Adi Mudra. Shankar, Shashank sir, yes, tell. I think you raised your hands.
Yeah, that's what in abdominal and in chest region I observed.
In abdomen region, you would observe when you did Chin Mudra, right? When you do Chinmaya Mudra, automatically you didn't give any effort, right? What happens? It will go to your heart and your lung region. Chest breathing will automatically activate. So now you're going to do Adi Mudra. Okay. Adi Mudra is this. Keep your finger, that is your thumb finger, under your little finger and then close. You have to make a fist, basically. Make a fist, inhale and exhale, see where you feel the breath. Once you're done with 5 breaths, yes, you can talk.
I felt in throat region.
Throat region, very good. What about Megha?
And same throat region one.
Throat region, it's actually clavicular region, this portion. So you are seeing it, right? We didn't say anything. We just asked you to do Chin Mudra, Chinmaya Mudra, Adi Mudra. We were talking about the prana flow for so far. So this is a practical understanding of how the mudra works. See, with simple Chin Mudra, Chinmaya Mudra, and Adi Mudra, you understood how we can manipulate our prana. You understood, right? This is a simple example. This is like observable, simple example. Same way, when you do other mudras, the part which needs more prana or the energy that is going to get activated within just our fingertips. We are not going to do anything. Where the energy flow, where the energy we are trying to divert, that's where the energy flows. So that's why these mudras are called psychoneurological finger locks. Okay. Now coming to the presentation. So what we are going to see today. Why do we get disease? That is what we are going to see. So origin of disease as per Yoga Vashishta. What we say? It comes from Adi. And then we have mental agitation. That means we have problems. When your mind is sick, what happens? When your thoughts are sick, what happens? You will get mental agitation. When mental agitation comes, we have asadas prana. That is, your pranas are not going to be in a proper way. After this, I'm going to tell you biologically how it happens also. So what happens? Once the pranas are not proper, your nadis are getting affected. Once the nadis get affected, it will come to your abdomen region, where you get ajiranatvam, atijiranatvam, kujiranatvam. Anything can happen. Either it can be under digestion, over digestion, or wrong digestion. So once you have this, then you have, so once you have all these, wrong digestion, what happens if the food is not getting digested properly? You get physical ailments, which becomes vyadi, right? So once you have vyadi, the vyadi can see everything is related to your mind or thoughts, okay? So vyadi can be adi vyadi or anadi vyadi, which is adi vyadi is conflicts of mind, but I would say anadi vyadi is also conflicts of mind because it started there. So which is a non-stress related, like infection. When you get infection, when your immune system drops, that's when we get infection, right? That's when we get toxins. Without our knowledge, we take something. So what happens? You will get toxins. Then samanya, ordinary, and you have sara, which is essential, congenital, birth defects, all those things are sara. Samanya is ordinary psychosomatic region. If you take diabetes, hypertension, and all these things like PCOD, and then you name it, like all the things which are new. Now we are seeing allergies. All those things are mostly psychosomatic in nature and mostly are lifestyle changes. If you do change the lifestyle, you will become all right. So what happens that you have to understand? Biologically and anatomically, what happens is we have something called vagus nerve, which is our 10th cranial nerve. We have multiple nerves in our body, especially this vagus nerve has to be stimulated to be in a parasympathetic mode. What is parasympathetic mode? Means you have to be in peace, you have to be in rest, you are not going to get frightened, okay? Your sympathetic and parasympathetic activation is very important. When you are listening to this class, if you are in a parasympathetic mode, then you will observe better, you will listen better. Okay. If somebody is constantly behind you talking back, or if they are trying to, budge in, then you will be in a sympathetic mode where you are agitated and you won't be able to listen to the lecture. So this is what happens to your body also. When you are constantly in stress, constantly in pressured mode, that's when everything happens. We saw that adi vyadi concept, right? So your mind is agitated. Once your mind gets agitated, your sympathetic nervous system gets activated. So once your sympathetic nervous system gets activated, all your hormones are not released properly. So when all your hormones are is not released properly, that means your pancreas is not releasing the hormone properly, your hypothalamus is not getting signaled properly. So all the problems will come to your stomach, right? With the stomach, observing the food, if it's not, see, they say gut-brain axis. Now they have come to a term, like understood a term that yes, gut is having millions of microbes which controls your brain activity. So if your gut is not proper, you're going to get many ailments of your body. So that's what will happen. So this Adivyadi concept, if you see as a whole in a scientific way, this is what happened. So for this, what we can do, we are saying you can do mudras. So with your simple mudra practice, what happens? We are going to stimulate parasympathetic activity. All the mudras that we are trying to do will actually work on your vagus nerve. Okay, you understood? So you are going to calm this nerve completely. If you take Shatchatra Nirupana, famous book which talks about the nerves, which talks about the chakras actually. They're all, we'll merge everything and read in this. We'll be merging the philosophical points as well as the anatomical points together, and we will talk about all these things in this class actually. So that's what happens. So you have so many, and then the Shat Chakra Nirupana says in the middle of your spinal column there is a hole where the prana flows up and down. So once your prana is moving up, and that's what we say in anatomically, what we see is we have something called a cerebrospinal fluid, which is connected with your brain and your spinal cord, which is constantly moving up and down your, around your spinal cord and your brain. So these things are all connected. So we have to, when we do mudras, when we do any kind of activities, these things are connected with each other and they're going to give you, good results. So if people are not able to do asanas, say you have someone at your home, he is having a heart attack, okay, is going through a heart attack. We have a mudra to recover him, take him to the hospital. So he has to get recovered, right? When you do this mudra, you will save him. That mudra is called Mrita Sanjivini mudra, and it is also called Apana Vayu mudra. When you keep doing the mudra, you can feel the energy, just like how we did Chin mudra, Chinmaya mudra, Adi mudra. We felt the energy in our body in different regions, right? Like that, when you do this Apana Vayu mudra, you can see by yourself that your blood pressure is coming down. And then when you give this mudra, passive giving of mudra is you are holding the patient's hand in the mudra pose. Like that, if you give, you can save the patient. That's why we say that has a Mrita Sanjivini mudra. There are so many research backups for this finding. So this is how mudra works. And Vijay was covered the psychological part and the physiological part. There is spiritual dimension to this mudra as well. So there are, say, when we say chakras, when we say some mind change. So there will be, first mudra works through your mind. It just works through your mind. We say it works through your manonmaya kosha. Then it will work through your vinyanamaya kosha. Then it is going to go through your, what is that? It is going to go to your body. So this is how mudra works. Okay, so another thing which I have to tell you. So what we saw is, so this is what I was telling you. So we have stomach issues. Then what happens is your body becomes weakened. Your immune system goes down. Once your immune system goes down, you'll get cough, fatigue, delayed wound healing. All these things will happen. So which is causing diseases. So here, why I came here is, see, we are doing a mudra in your hand, which is your Annamaya Kosha, right? So what happens is it always works. And then once you do the mudra, what happens? Your prana, which is the energy body, right, Prana is your energy body. It's right here. There will be a change in your prana. We already saw that. We demonstrated it practically. So there will be change in your prana. So once the prana changes, it affects your Manonmaya kosha. Once the Manonmaya kosha affects, it will affect your Vijnanamaya kosha. Again, it is going to reflect yours. And then, like Anandamaya kosha will also get affected. So once you start doing your mudra practices, your Manonmaya kosha will definitely get, change. Your thoughts change, your mindset change. That is going to reflect on your Annamaya kosha. This is how mudra actually works, and this is how you can overcome diseases as well. Okay.
Kadambari, let me cover the 5 elements a little bit.
Yeah.
Do we have time?
Yeah. We have time.
Okay. Yeah. So earlier I mentioned that we'll also talk a little bit about Panchabhutas and Panchakoshas. What are these Panchakoshas? 5 layers. So we all know the physical body, right? This is the physical body. But then we also have thoughts, right? And then we also feel the energy moving in our body. Sometimes, you feel very energetic, like sometimes you just don't even feel the energy, right? So these 3, like normally we have felt, right, in our day-to-day life. Sometimes we also get intuition, isn't it? So what I'm trying to say is the pancha koshas are, right, Annamaya kosha, which corresponds to your physical body, right? Pranamaya kosha, it corresponds to your energy body. And the third one is Manonmaya kosha, which corresponds to your mind, your mental thinking and all of that. And the fourth one is Vijnanamaya kosha, your intuitive body, where you get that wisdom, right? The intuition. And fifth is the bliss body, right? Anandamaya kosha, when you forget your, see, what is actually preventing us from being happy is the ego. What is ego? Ego is the identification that we have built over a period of time, right? We think I am this, I am that, I like this in a particular way, I don't like it if somebody does this. All these are identification. I excel in studies, I excel in singing, I am bad at this, nobody likes me. These are all different identification based on your life experience we develop. That forms your core identity, which we call ego. I mean, like, according to the yogic philosophy, right, we are like nothing but like a drop in the ocean. See, the universal cosmic mind, right, the cosmic prana, the same prana is in us, Jivatma and Paramatma. What that means is the individual consciousness has the power like the universal consciousness, the creative power. Because of our limited beliefs of the ego, right, we are encountering so much problems in our life. So when you do mudras, I think you become aware of the identification that you have built. In yoga, they say, right, like this life is an illusion. What do they mean by that? Because in this birth, you are born in a particular family, you have certain friends, certain environment, and all of that, and you create an identity. In the next birth, I know that not everybody believes in reincarnation, but in the next birth, you might be born into a rich family. In one birth, you will be born as a poor, right? So we take different identities and then they impact our thinking and then we live life like that. But all these solutions, you'll come to know that you are that creative power, you are that cosmic energy. You become one with that, and that's when you experience the Anandamaya kosha, the bliss body, where you and everything is one, right? And these are all different roles. We have come to experience life in this role, but we get too much attached to that and suffer. So when we balance the prana and create the circuits and take the prana inward, this is like the higher levels of the or like the higher benefits of doing mudras. But most of us first, we want good health, good wealth. Only then we can really like go into spirituality. But this is the higher level, the Anandamaya kosha. So we exist on 5 different levels: physical body, energy body, mental body, and then intuitive, like your psychic body, and then bliss body. So this is how we exist. And all these layers, the prana is the connecting factor for all these layers. Okay, prana pervades all these layers. So in your mental body, if you don't have enough energy, right, depression, right? So in the physical body, if your prana is imbalanced, you will have a lot of disease. Like Kadambari was talking about immune functions, right? You develop disease because the prana in the physical body in that layer is not balanced. So we have to address specific practices for different koshas, different conditions. Okay, this is about an overview of the pancha koshas. Now let's talk about the pancha bhutas, the 5 elements in the nature. If you have taken Siddha medicine or Ayurveda, right, the natural herbal medicine, like, what they are trying to do is the basis of like Ayurveda is like they say 3 doshas, but 3 doshas actually consist of the 5 elements. In the universe is also the 5 elements are filled: fire, air, akash, earth, and water. When all these 5 elements are balanced, we are said to, our prana will be balanced. We are said to be in a state of health, disease free, when the 5 elements are balanced. Just like how we talked earlier, right? Whatever you eat, that will influence. If you are eating too much like foods, like fiery foods, right? Then it will increase the fire in you. I don't know if you're all familiar. We say that if you eat too much spice, like chili, you'll get
Pittam.
angry, right?
Oh,
Yeah, pittam,
Kalaki.
and also you'll get angry, right?
Angry.
The fire nature, right? So different elements bring about different qualities in our body. But how do we balance that? You can take herbal medicine, yes, you can take Siddha medicine, Ayurveda medicine, but Mudra, you can balance these with our fingertips, because these fingers, 5 fingers, represent 5 elements: fire, air, akash, earth, and water.
Then water.
Yeah. For example, if you have too much fire, that means you have too much pitta dosha, right? When pitta increases, we know, like, I mean, your gastric juices is directly related to your stomach
Gastric.
juices. Too much gas, you may have like peptic ulcer and all of that. How to balance
Acidity.
that? You can do that.
Acidity
2
too.
mudras. Yeah, acidity, all of that. When the air element is too much in your body, excessive air element, what happens? Air element, the nature of it is like movement. Thoughts are moving, your circulation, all these movement, if it increases, what happens? High BP. You have too much tension in the mind, too many thoughts, which everybody is facing: anxiety, sleep issues, because too many thoughts, we are not able to shut it down. So when you balance
Not
the air
only
element,
thoughts, Vijay, we also have self-talks, which
yeah,
is there in our
yeah,
mind.
the internal dialogue that's constantly going, right? So the air element. Also, we all have so much joint pain. We all know Vatam. We say Vatam has increased. What is Vata? Vata is primarily air element. How do we balance that? By gently touching the, this represents the air element. Gently by touching the your thumb, you can balance the air element. Lot of people have joint pain, muscle aches, because air goes and gets locked in different parts of the body, too much air. You can balance it through this mudra. So these are like, so different elements, different like health conditions, and how we can balance them. All that we'll be discussing in detail in the first class. We'll go through each and every element in detail. Okay. And like one bonus mudra for attending this webinar, right? Okay. So I know that everybody wants like,
Yeah, true. So
because
one
in
bonus
the
mudra we
mudra class,
already gave, Apana Vayu mudra.
yeah, Apanavayu mudra already we gave, and
We
then like,
already gave like four mudras, I think.
lot
4 or
of
5
things, right?
mudras. Yeah.
But we'll practice this now for a couple of minutes. I want to teach Kuber Mudra, but be cautious, because when I teach mudras, karma comes to you when you use it for the wrong purpose. So my humble request is use it for a good cause. Okay. You can, like it should not affect others. Whatever you wish for should not impact others. Okay. That should be the goal. So Kuber Mudra, we all know who's Kuber. Then I won't teach the mudra if you don't know who Kuber is.
Yes,
You
we
can
know,
unmute
ma'am.
and talk.
Unmute and
Huh?
talk.
Lord of wealth.
Ah,
Lord
yes.
of wealth, right? Okay.
Money.
Yeah,
Somebody has said money.
exactly. Right. So how
God
to do this
for
mudra? So, but you
personification.
can also for any other wish, whatever your intention is, right? See, nowadays there's a lot of talk about manifestation, law of attraction, manifestation, and all that, right? So in yoga, in mudra, this is the way to do that. Okay. But make sure nobody is affected by that. And how to do Kuber mudra is like you are going to bend the little finger and ring finger and touch the palm. And then rest of the three fingers you are going to join. Okay. This is Kuber mudra. So you are going to keep the hands on the knees or thighs, palms facing the sky. And then you are going to visualize whatever your intention, right? So just like how they say in the manifestation class, right? Whatever your intention, you invoke those feelings as if it has come true and sit with those emotions because the universe responds to your vibrations and not your thoughts. That is why a lot of times we do a lot of things, we attend a lot of classes, we learn a lot of things. It's all at the thought level. The vibration, the prana, the energy in your body, it should vibrate at that level, then things will actually happen. If you really want to be healthy, right, you have to feel that you are connected with the universe, and then, like, you know, your energy, your prana is balanced, and you're experiencing, you have to experience the joy of health. Only then the mudras will also work very effectively. Okay. But at the same time, if you say that you don't have time at all, right? Sit in front of the TV and do it for longer time so you get the benefits. Okay. So with that, I think we completed whatever we
We'll
wanted
completed
to
the session. We'll open for
open
question
the
answer.
session for question and
So
answers.
anyone can unmute and talk now. We'll have 10 minutes of question and answer.
Rishwan, madam, Rishwan.
Yes.
Yeah, I have pain in my liver area around the rib, back solar plexus, spleen. That area continuous pain. So, what mudra I should to practice?
Okay.
This is
See,
not a therapy session though.
yeah.
See, for us to give you a mudra, we need to understand you better. So we cannot just give a mudra to anyone. Even if you are joining the class, we need to understand the basics of what happened to you. If you have any other disease or condition, then only we can suggest a mudra. So you can consult us, like, in person. We are always here. You can get our numbers from Shivadarshan and you can contact us, or you can join the class and learn your stuff so that we can give you some consultation part. So right now, like if we give a mudra now, it's not just for you. We have so many people there. They will also try, and then they will, that will be trouble. You know what I'm saying, sir? That's why.
Yeah, I
Yes,
practice
there are
some of the mudras.
contraindications. Yeah, there are contraindications for mudra also. So not everybody can do all the mudras. For example, I talked about like acidity, right? So if somebody is having asthma, we want to increase the digestive fire.
Yes.
But if somebody is having hyperacidity, we want to reduce that fire
Reduce
element.
it.
Okay.
So if the
So
mucus is high, the asthma patient who is going to do the mudra will get will become more asthmatic. So we have to be cautious. So it's not one thing fits all. So come in person, learn it, or you can contact us privately, and we will be able to give you mudra for that. Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes,
Ma'am,
Sash.
ma'am,
Yes.
when do mudras, we will sit on mat or either in chair without
Actually,
mat.
you can just now, actually, Viji, ma'am answered that question. Actually, she said you can do mudras at any posture, but to
Oh,
get the full benefit, you should be in a meditative state.
See, there are
okay. While we
Siddhasana,
sitting mat or
Siddhyotasana.
playing.
What is that?
Okay, you can sit on the mat, that is fine. But if you're sitting in the chair, don't be wearing shoes because sometimes excess energy also will get generated in your body, and we have to ground the excess energy through our feet to the ground. Okay, so if you're sitting in a chair, because when you're sitting on the mat, it's okay. We are still like connected with the earth, right? Our body has the connection, right? So, but always keep your spine right, body relaxed, like the spine, right? That is where the energy flow in your body is. If you are not sitting properly, the energy flow will be obstructed. Okay.
Obstructed. See,
Yeah.
that's where the
So make sure.
cerebrospinal fluid also moves along. So the prana has to move along to your brain and your spinal cord. So that's why we have to keep it straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
So,
Shashank was asking a question, Viji. Let's
yeah,
move.
1 second. No. I think I just wanted to answer to add. I think somebody asked about liver, right? So when we
Mm,
talk about the 5 elements, we'll also talk about what are the organs, right?
mm,
We'll talk about like pancha pranas and all the 5 elements.
I
Which
will.
element actually controls the heart? Which element you have to balance if you have heart issue? Which element you have to balance when you have teeth
Yeah,
issue? So we just don't want to randomly give answers here, but all that will be covered when we talk about the 5 elements.
5 elements.
And not all the mudras can be done for the same amount of time. The time for each mudra varies. So, like if you really want to make use of the mudras for your healing, please join the course. That's what I would say.
Yes, sir. Shashank, sir, please go ahead. He has
Hey,
been
madam.
waiting. Yes.
Yeah, thank you for this session, madam.
No
I
problem.
think one question is like meditative post you told to keep it, that mudra, but what happens in continuously like during hours, like we tend to bend our head, we unknowing because due to time span. So how can
Right.
we? Because we told the spine should be erect. So then again there will be a problem.
See, when
So
you
how
are
to?
doing meditation, your awareness is always there, right? If you're unaware of what is happening around, that means you're not meditating. I'm just saying. So you can do like 20 minutes. That's what the limit is. So if you can sit for 20 minutes in a meditative state, you can do the mudras. And we will talk about it. Not every mudra is same as Viji said. Not every mudra is done for 20 minutes. There are mudras that you have to do only for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, or only for 10 breaths. So you will get a full glimpse of what has to be done, what has not to be done.
Yeah, to add to that, right? Like, so yeah, it is very common that our body will stoop and then we'll forget about the body conscious, right? That is why mudras were taught after you have mastered asanas and breath work.
Yes.
Because when you're doing asanas, you're stabilizing your body muscles, strengthening them, and then giving practice so that you can sit in siddhasana, padmasana for 20 minutes. It only takes practice, okay? And sometimes people will fall asleep because your mind calms down, you might fall asleep also, right? Like when we have seen that in the class, when we give certain practices, people tend to fall asleep, especially in deep states of meditation. All that is okay. But if you're like, plus our body is also like, because we are sitting most of the time, right? Most of us look at the phone. So what is going to happen to your body is it's going to be curved. So if you are like, if you know that you're automatically slouching your body or curving your shoulders, I would recommend do some like, chest opening asanas. And we teach all of that in the teachers training course. And we are also starting like asana courses separate. If you are very much interested, if you want the whole package to take your health to the next level, right? You can join the asanas and breathwork and meditation course also we are offering. So yes, you are right. The body will automatically go, but the more you practice and learn to sit in like, for 20 minutes in with a straight spine, that is a practice that you have to cultivate. Okay, because
See, that's why
Swamiji is
they
currently conducting one session,
session.
Dharana, right? She's conducting one session. The first class was only to make us sit for 20 minutes and then just to observe the breath with no movement. That is the practice.
See,
So there are practices like that which you have
as
to do.
as Vijay was saying, mudras are actually advanced level. They're not like simple. We are bringing it to a simpler level
Has it been
because
scientifically proved?
yes,
Yes.
there are scientific papers on mudras.
Yes.
So for when you say mudras, they're all very advanced level. People who have practiced yoga for multiple years, then only they can sit for a longer time, and then it works through, as we already saw, it always works through your mind. So first it will change your mindset when you start doing mudra. So this is a very advanced level. So slowly you'll get there. It's not like you won't get there. Therapeutical part is like a lot. That's why nowadays we are giving it for therapies. So there is lot of therapeutical benefits for mudra. So that's why we are bringing it to a therapeutic level. So you have to get if you are having patients at home, or if you have elders at home who can't do asanas, that's when mudra kicks in, and it's a quick fix. So within, like, few minutes, few certain mudras, within few minutes you can see the results. Certain mudras you have to practice for a longer time. And as I said, it's all in your mind. Everything is in your mind. It works through your mind.
You can do it when you go for walking also, right? So we are trying to combine like lot of things, right? So how to maximize, because everybody says like, I don't have time, because we know that we have given all our time to the digital media, right? So I think everybody's running short of time. Like, so I think when
See,
you're going for walking also, you
nowadays,
can do
like
that.
when we post videos in YouTube and things like that, people will watch longer videos. More people will watch longer videos. Nowadays, because of this shorts and reels, only 1 minute videos is going much. That too, they don't have time for, like, 40 seconds or 30 seconds. The world is becoming faster. So that's how it is. But you need to sit, you need to understand your own body. So that will happen in this class. We'll make sure, and we will have practice session also. We'll have a separate groups, and then you will be practicing, and then we will be, like, sharing our knowledge. Like whatever happens to you, we'll be there to guide you when you are practicing mudras, because certain mudras, when we start giving, there will be some difficulties and abnormalities that you'll see. It's not abnormalities actually. It is like your toxins and your body composition changes because of practicing the mudra. Those things you'll understand as you go through the mudra classes.
Yeah. So one thing I want to add is like the 6 weeks, the course will be for 6 weeks, right? So each week we'll give you a homework of like, so we'll focus on balancing your 5 elements, increasing your energy. The first step is detoxification.
Yes.
So we'll teach specific mudras. And one beautiful thing is, yes, you can go do these things on your own. You can learn from internet and do all that. But I think when we started giving the practice in the group session, right? And so many questions about the so many like
they will have experience, right?
experiences,
Yeah,
right?
they
Like
get
when the
experience.
toxins are getting eliminated, some people have like different kinds of
Yeah.
like experiences. So you need somebody
that
to
knowledge
handhold and
transfer,
guide
that
you.
knowledge transfer is very important, because you will understand people, other people, what they are experiencing. That you can understand with this class, because I think this is our 5th year conducting the class, Vijay.
Fourth year or fifth? I don't know. I
Fifth, yeah,
forgot.
yeah.
Okay.
So we have like 5 sets of people who went out already. They're all in touch with us. If they need something, they will definitely come back. But we had this experience because we give 1 week, we'll give, some people will say the heat has increased. Some people will say, we have toxin releasing, we had diarrhea. All these things will happen. You will notice that. So it is a beautiful journey for 6 weeks. So join and get benefited. Yes, Ananti. Ananteshwari, yes. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Kids can also perform mudra, ma'am.
Certain mudras that kids can do, but certain mudras they are not supposed to do. That also you will learn.
Okay. Is there any age category for mudra, ma'am?
We'll talk about it. Like each mudra has its own thing. We'll be learning all those things when you join.
It will be a 6 sections, no, ma'am. And on 6 section, we have any exams, ma'am? Because it's a certificate.
Yes. We have exams.
If you want certification, right? If you
Yes.
want like certification, like from Bihar School of Yoga, right? Like Shiv Darshan Yoga Vidyalaya. Yes, it is
Yes.
very much valuable. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have exams. We'll be correcting your papers. Before, like, I think in first year or second year, we gave what is that? We gave assignments also, right?
Yeah.
So now we have stopped giving assignments because you guys are feeling very tired of assignments. So we have all
See,
this.
the reason why we give exam for all the certification, right? Because some of you were able to feel when you're doing Chin Mudra, the effects are immediate, right? And then like and sometimes people like might do it for too much time. So you need to know all the contraindications.
Yes.
How long you should do and what are the contraindication, and if you have this health condition that you should not do this. So those are the important details, because a lot of times I also see videos on like in YouTube. We talk about the benefits of the mudra, but then we don't talk about the side
About the
effect of the mudra.
contraindication.
for someone having some other health condition. So, we just want to make sure that you're learning thoroughly, and then, so that if you are a yoga therapist, yoga teacher, you can, enhance your teaching and spread yoga. But if you're coming for like your own benefits, then I guess you don't need to take the exam.
Write the exam,
Yeah.
but you won't get your certificate as well.
One more thing, ma'am. Like nadis, we have 72,000 nadis. No, is there any count for mudras?
There are many possibilities and permutation and combination with all your 10 fingers. So with fingers and your body, there are counts that we'll talk about it in the class.
Okay, ma'am. Fine.
Initially, the mudra science was really lost because this was like very higher sadhana, I said earlier, right? And it was taught by Lord Shiva to Parvati. I mean, Shiva
Parvati.
represents the consciousness, and Parvati represents the Shakti, right? The universe is full of basically nothing but the interaction of the consciousness and the energy. When he teaches, right, he says that this is highly secretive. Not even gods know all the mudras. So the tradition we all know, right, in ancient days, how they kept it very secretive, and lot of mudras were lost. Right now we have only like less than 500, maybe in
500
that list
to
only
like
maybe
500
100
to
is like quite
580
popular.
or something. But
Yeah.
it is, as I said, there are many mudras, but there are like overlapping mudras. One hand will do one mudra, other hand will do another, and then you can create your own mudra. There are many ways and possibilities, but see, sometimes smaller is better. So you learn whatever is necessary for balancing your prana. That is enough. That's going to see it has to benefit you, right? So instead of learning everything, learn deeper with the short forms that you can practice every day.
The only thing is you become the family member of Shivadarshan Yoga Vidyalaya. You'll be in the groups and you'll have access to us. People still, I mean, our students still keep sending us questions. Somebody in the family suddenly had a stroke or something, like what can
Yes.
they do at this time? What mudras? Because you really cannot do any breath work or asanas. They won't be able to do. But sitting down, we can tape the fingers. Like we talked about the heart mudra, right? If somebody is having a heart attack, they might become unconscious, but you can actually tape their hands in that mudra until you reach the hospital, because a
Yes,
lot of deaths
that's
happen
what I was
on the way
telling
to the
them.
hospital. We know
That's
the
what I was
traffic
telling
system.
you. That's a passive way of doing it. You can also keep their finger and hold them like that. So that's a passive way of doing the mudras.
Yeah, a lot of deaths happen by the time you reach the hospital, right? Like especially when you're having a heart attack. So because when you do the heart mudra, you are channeling the energy to the heart center, to your heart. So that it's like a first aid. When paramedics come, what they do, right? I'm not asking you to replace the medical care. This is in addition to the medical care in the terms of emergencies.
Yeah,
But over
that
a
we
period
have
of
to
time,
mention, Viji. That is very important. See, nothing replaces emergency medicine. We have to be very, very cautious about it. You can't go and tell anyone who is having a blood pressure for such a long time or taking a BP medication to stop their medication by doing the mudra. It will happen, but you have to wait, and their practitioner, that their doctor should tell that they can stop or they can reduce the dosage after doing the mudra. So this is a very important point, because people will come here and they'll do the mudras. They'll say, okay, I'm doing mudra, I'm going to stop my medication. That is like utter not here. You are not supposed to do that here. It will happen, but it is going to happen gradually. Okay,
yes, see, the
even if
goal
you are
is
going to give therapy for someone else, even you have to understand that nothing replaces medical knowledge. We are going to give, this is a holistic wellness program where you are giving, supporting the medications that they're taking. It's not like replacing. You are understanding, right? Replacing is different, supporting is different. This might, speed up the process of healing, but it's going to, you need that medications for healing as well. You have to take the medication and do the mudra, not remove the medication all together. Okay.
So some of the common so we'll be teaching like specific mudras for like diabetes, high BP, asthma, spondylitis, thyroid, PCOD, infertility,
Yeah,
prolapse,
we'll cover
right?
almost
All.
all the
So
women
these are like the
related, male related, and then all the diseases that we see in a day-to-day life. Okay.
So I think we have like a course where they talk about the asanas, breath work for this kind of conditions.
Yeah.
And mudras, we have started as a new course because a lot of people came back and said, like, not everybody is able to do the asanas for the condition, right? So we started a special course, mudras for all those common ailments that we teach in our other courses. So I just wanted
Okay.
to highlight that point. And
I think
are
I'm
there
going to
any
stop
questions
recording.
about the course or like what the course
Yeah.
might offer you, like benefits of the course? And
Let
like
me
I said,
stop the recording, Vijay, because it's already 8.